Hello everyone, my name is Esanasile. Welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel. Please view more videos and share the link with other people as well. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. Today I'm going to be talking about an experience that I have with a very abusive relationship that I was once in. And the reason I'm sharing this here is so that other people that are in abusive relationships can also see this and listen to it, and if they relate or if they don't know how to get out, maybe some of the things that I did might help them out as well. Okay, so for the sake of privacy and obvious reasons, I will call the guy that I'm going to be talking about Guy. Guy. So I met Guy when I was in Eastern Cape. Remember, I'm from there as well. So I was from university. I was still looking for work, and at that time, I had two kids already. So I met Guy during the time where I was looking for work. Guy was very kind. He was very good. He was supportive. He was everything, man, that I could have imagined in a boyfriend. We dated for a couple of months, and after that, I got a job at the Northwest Province, where I currently am. And when I got this job, I was excited. We were all excited at home, a new job and everything. So when I told Guy about the new job, he was working at that time, and then he wanted to come beside with me. So I was like, no, man, that's fine. Like, you had just changed jobs as well, so we'll be in a long distance relationship and see how it goes. So yeah, but Guy couldn't budge. Like, he wasn't having that. He just couldn't. So he insisted on coming this side as well, and he did come after a few weeks of me being this side. So Guy came, things were fine. He was supportive. He was also looking for work. He was in construction, so he came this side as well. And after, like, when I would get paid though, I would give Guy my card, my bank card, so that he buys everything in the house because he wouldn't be doing anything during the day while I'm at work. So this wasn't a problem for me, to be honest. Like, I didn't have a problem with that because I understood, and most of the stuff that he bought, it's things that we had agreed on anyway. So this carried on for some time, and then it came to a point where Guy said I must do a learner's license. I did a learner's license, I got it, and then I did a license as well. And then after multiple tries, let me tell you, multiple tries, I finally got my license, and I was doing code 10. So I was basically using a truck to do my lessons. And then Guy was like, I must buy a car. So it was a couple of months into working, like after I started working. So I knew that I was on a temporary basis where I am. I was a temporary employee, and I didn't really think I would qualify to get a car. But he insisted, he convinced me until I also understood. I understood, hey. So until I understood, I went to, so we got the car. And now the problem is I couldn't drive the stupid car. So I couldn't drive the car because I didn't know how to drive a car. I knew how to drive a truck. And he at that time knew how to drive a car because he had previously owned a car, before we met. And so he was the one driving the car every now and then, or actually, what am I even saying? He drove the car. He was the owner of the car regarding driving it. So he drove the car. Again, I didn't have a problem with it. I understood. Imagine, I understood. So yeah, he would even drive me to work sometimes, fetch me. Sometimes he wouldn't be able to drive to fetch me, so I would use common transport with other colleagues. And then now, after having the car, I took my kids because I felt like that was the only sensible thing to do. So I took them from Eastern Cape, brought them this side. I stayed with them. At that time, I had two kids, my first and second born. And things were fine. The guy loved my kids. He was very kind to them. He was very accommodative. He was supportive because those were not his kids. And he didn't have a problem. He was like a father figure to them in a way. Okay, so things were fine, man. Like, oh my word, things were good. It was like a fairy tale until it wasn't. So I don't know what happened because before he got a job, he was sort of controlling my money, controlling how we use it, controlling what we're buying for the house, controlling the TV, what to watch. And at that time, I didn't see it as a red flag. I always understood. Maybe it's because I was young and naive. I'm not making excuses, but I really would agree with most of what he would say. Even though it wasn't favoring me and him, it was only favoring him, I mean. But I would agree because I understood. So, yeah, this carried on for a couple of months and we were happy. Now, the problem started the problem escalated rather when he got a job. He got a job, and then he would get paid on Fridays. And then the first Friday that he got paid, he wanted to go buy booze. At that time, I wasn't drinking booze at all. So he would go and buy booze and then not come back. The first time he did that, he said he's going to come back. I called him, he was still not back. I called him, he'd say, "Baby, I'm coming back." And then it was fine until he switched off his phone around let's say around 10 p.m. and the person left at around 5 p.m. And then at that time obviously the kids would be sleeping, but because I was worried about him, what he's doing, is he safe, the car, everything. I was just worried about basically everything, and I couldn't get hold of him. I was crying, like I'm a crier. I was a mess. I was crying throughout the night. I was crying. I would still try to call him and he wouldn't, his phone would still be off. I was crying throughout the night until the following morning around 5 a.m. And when he came back, he was drunk and he apologized for, switching off the phone. He had excuses that, the phone was whatever. Not sure if it was an excuse, but then yeah. So yeah, we were good after that. I understood as always. And then he did this every other weekend until he did it every weekend where every Friday when he gets paid he buys a few things, and then from there he would go say he's gonna buy booze, he's gonna come and drink in the house, and then he wouldn't. Now it became so extreme to the point that he would go around, sometimes he would even leave around 4 p.m. on Friday, come back at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the following morning. And he wouldn't be available for me throughout the night. His phone would be off immediately he leaves the house. And then he would go with my car. And when I asked him not to, he wouldn't understand until a time where I would take the car keys and then I would keep them with me. Sometimes I would even hide them so that he doesn't see them. But because obviously he knew I'm the one who hid them, he would try to get them from me. He would ask me where they are. If I refused to tell him, he would push me so hard, so hard on the wall. Even though I would cry, even though I would hurt, like it would hurt so badly, he wouldn't care. All he wants or all he wanted was the stupid car key. And then even sometimes I would take the car key and then it would be on my hand and I would refuse to tell because I would say to him, you know what, it's fine. If you want to go out, go out. But call your friends to come fetch you. Or I don't mind also dropping you wherever you want to go and then picking you up whenever you need to come back, or being dropped by your friends. I didn't have a problem with that. But he wouldn't have that. He would basically, if it means twisting my arm, if it means pushing me, if it means just throwing me, because he was really bigger than me in height and in weight. So he would basically do anything it took for him to eventually get that stupid car key. And then he would get the car key, he would leave, not come back again, the same thing. it came to a point now where I wasn't even crying in the middle of the night anymore. I wouldn't cry anymore because my tears wouldn't come out anymore. I was hurt. I was a mess. I was depressed. I was unhappy like throughout the whole relationship from that time. Because if he's in the house, he would basically want to control everything. It was an environment that he created. He would come back home late during the week. He would start drinking at a friend's place and come. Bear in mind, at that time, I didn't have any friends. I only had colleagues that I was working at. I didn't know anyone else except those people that I was working with at that time. So it was hectic. It was very hectic. And then he did this, man. Like, I don't know. I think for a whole month, 2 months, 3 months, he was very consistent. And every time I tell him I want out of the relationship or I'm breaking up with him, he would basically just laugh at me. He would be like, "Where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do with the kids? Who are you gonna go to? Because you don't know anyone in this place. You don't have any friends in this place. And you are not gonna cope with handling the kids without me. You need me." That's something he would consistently tell me every time I want out, every time I tell him he must look for his own place because I was paying the rent where we were staying. And then so it came to a point where he was very comfortable with this. He didn't see any problem with it. It was as if it became a norm for him to do this. So this thing carried on. It worked me. It depressed me. I was such a useless mother to my kids to an extent that they saw everything, especially my son, because he was old enough to see everything. He saw how the guy treated me. He saw how the guy pushed me on walls. He saw how the guy fought me or like wouldn't hesitate to just break my arm or whatever as long as I hurt. He saw everything, and I feel like the worst mom in the whole world for that. Now, so this escalated, ne? It escalated, and because of the length of this video, I won't be able to continue. I'll do a part 2 and then upload after this video. So please tune in, and the next video will be uploaded after this one. Yeah, so yeah, man, that's my experience with abuse. You're still gonna hear more on the following video. Again, please share the link, please subscribe, please make sure you watch again. Bye.